Welcome, Acolytes. Today I am reacting to LT Bus Liteber. This guy. I just got much worse for Helldivers 2 Steam. I don't know what this guy is. I just found it in my recommendations. So just go and see what he has to say about this. And I really hope. Damn it! It got worse for Helldivers. Like, fuck! Damn it! Why? Why? Oh man. Oh, okay. I'm sorry because I still love this game, but F me. So let's just see what they have to say about it. Just start.
Honestly with you, but I don't get jazzed up about making videos like this. I mean, I really enjoy playing Helldivers. I think that much is evident from my coverage of the game, and I'd much rather the topic be something like, hey, great job, we just finished up the major order early, which, by the way...
Damn it, mate, yes, me too. I really despise the fact that we are actually talking negative about freaking Helldivers and not in the typical way, but because they really effed up. Or not even they, I mean, as it seems, Sony actually just effed up really badly and Helldivers has to suffer for it.
We have, but since my last upload, things have gotten even worse in regards to the PSN requirements issue. And what could have been a pretty easy W for Sony has now turned into a full-blown disaster. Welcome to the channel. This
They doubled down, didn't they? Oh my god.
Is Lieutenant Buzz Lightyear, and yeah, we've got so much info coming in from all angles concerning the present and future of Helldivers, most of which is not pretty, but you know, I'm going to do my best to break it all down for you. Thanks again for your awesome support for my content. Remember to hit subscribe and to ring that notifications bell to get those alerts anytime I upload a new video. And here's the latest from our favorite managed democracy, liberty-spreading shooter, Helldivers. This is kind of a wild way to kick this one off, especially because you know what's coming, but congrats to all my fellow divers out there. We've knocked out the Mutant Bug TCS Major Order early, and those medals have now arrived. Now, the latest dispatch is kind of lengthy, I know, but it's definitely interesting. Check this out. It says, further calamity has been averted, thanks to the swift and disciplined response of the Helldivers to deactivate the remaining terminated control.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, this is everything's fine. Between major order order completed. Damn, that was fast. Let's see what this has to say about
All right,
that.
now it's time to jump into the deep end. And by the way, I apologize up front if I miss anything of importance here. But like I said earlier, it's coming in from all angles. It's coming in from multiple sources. And the news cycles and all of this are being measured in seconds, minutes, and hours, not days. So when it comes down to getting some up-to-date info on Steam games, I always first turn to steamdb.info, and just take a look at this. As I run down the update logs, you can see the rating for Helldivers dropping even further, and it seems to be doing this on an hourly basis. Now, I've seen some PR train wrecks in my time covering games, publishers, and the like, but I've never seen a game with so much going for it, so much goodwill from the player base, turn this quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's correct about that. That's actually something pretty new. I mean, of course you've seen shitty games do the same thing, but Helldivers, freaking legendary, and still, somehow, it's still not enough.
And I've covered some real dumpster fires in the past. Ubisoft, Electronic Arts, and Battlefield 2042, Snail Games, and Ark. I mean, there's some real garbage in there. Hell, you could even throw into the mix Fantastic and The Day Before. And by the way, in terms of a game crashing this hard, this fast, The Day Before is probably the only one that is comparable to what Helldivers is currently going through. And here's the kicker. It's not a bad game, which is normally why a title gets flamed. I mean, Helldivers is a great game that has unfortunately stumbled into Corpo BSville, and where it goes from here, you know, who knows? Some of the latest, and to be honest, wildest news yet went down kind of late yesterday evening when Steam delisted the game for sale in 177 countries where PSN is not available.
What the fuck? Hey, W for Steam, I guess. This is actually good. And why would I say it's good? Because it's not available there. You shouldn't sell a game that's not available in this country. And this is a rare freaking Steam W. I'm gonna be honest. And I am from the position that I love Helldivers to fucking death. So don't give me any shit about saying something positive about Steam actually like stomping them. Because I don't like that this happens. I despise that this happens. But they have to be consistent. And this is a freaking Steam W. It's good. Because people cannot play it without the thing. Without the PlayStation thing. And it's very, extremely, very, very good that they did it like that. It just makes sense. And it should be that way.
Now, this Reddit post repeats the previous Steam DB tweet and has now earned over 27,000 upvotes and has taken an already hectic situation and just added an entire fleet load of 500 kgs on top of this galactic dumpster fire. And this has ripple effects throughout the Helldiver gaming community. First of which is that if you live in one of these countries listed out here, you can't buy the game on Steam anymore. It will see your region, and it's not going to allow you to purchase the game at all.
Yep.
So that is potentially huge amounts of players that might want to actually get into Helldivers, and they just can't, thanks to Sony and their PSN link requirements for Steam. So yeah, that's issue number one. Issue number two is that reports are coming in from players that reside in these countries that have already purchased and played the game, now being denied access to play the game they apparently already own. And this one's a bit sketchy, to be honest. There's this clip that shows up over on the Helldiver Reddit showing a player from the Philippines trying to log in, but they can't. However, there's also some added context comments here stating that this also might be an issue with the InProtect and a faulty Game Guard install. I mean, if you are in one of these affected countries and currently own and play Helldivers, let me know how your gaming experience is currently.
I'm gonna be honest, yes, it could be a faulty game, and it could be. But after what they did, they just fucked up. They just fucked the game up totally. Such a good game, and it gets just wrecked right now. And it's not, as I know it, it's not even the fault of the devs. It's not even their fault. And this is sad. And I hope they freaking correct it. Not the company, not the devs. I mean the freaking company Sony. Those effing scumbags. One of the best freaking releases for a long time. And they still pull shit like that. The greed is just... It's just mind-baffling to me. It's just... Why? Wasn't it enough? How wasn't it enough? You literally don't have to do anything for it. And still you want more somehow. Doing nothing was the right, correct way. Doing literally nothing. And you can't even do that.
Going by leaving me a comment. As expected, PC players have been taking to Steam in droves, mass review bombing the game, uninstalling the game, some applying for and actually receiving refunds, as this Reddit post shows. 97 hours played? Okay. Refund granted, which normally, after just 2 hours, Steam will not give you that.
I have to try it. I really have to try if I can refund the game, because it's so effing... Like... It's right now, it's dangerous. It's just dangerous because it could be that I am just banned from my account just because of my freaking gamer name. And that's not okay.
Reason given here and accepted. Sony has retroactively changed how the game works and forced legal agreements upon me I do not accept. Now, overall, not a great look when your affected players map kind of looks like this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I imagine Steam is having to put in overtime dealing with this massive headache.
Damn.
Speaking of which, back to those 100 plus countries now having the game delisted in their regions. That feels like a Steam being preemptive before getting hit with massive lawsuits issued to me versus Sony trying to step in and cover their steps. Now, I've seen Valve do this in the past, even proactively issuing refunds for the day before, even if you had not applied for one. I mean, they didn't make the game, they just distribute it, by the way, with a massive 20 to 30% cut of the sales. Damn, what a racket, right? Anyways, back to it. This looks like Steam trying to get out from under any potential suits by downing the sales in areas that will be affected, or at least they anticipate will be affected. Again, and I touched on this in Friday's video a bit, but this entire thing stinks of corpo BS. The explanation given by Sony Interactive, trying to preach to the PC players, giving them reasons like, it will help us protect you, when number one, we don't need Sony's protection, and number two, players saw right through that smoke to the truth of the matter. This was Sony trying to pad their active player counts by getting PC players to create PSN accounts. We've also seen Helldivers actively digging around and investigating Sony, who, by the way, were caught changing their website from a PSN account is optional to play a game on PC to now some PlayStation games may require you to sign in and link an account for PSN. As if changing your legal disclosures after you've caused a galactic dumpster fire doesn't look suspect AF, right? Again, none of this looks good. It doesn't do anything positive for Helldivers, the anti-live service model smash hit that is now being drowned in a battle that could have been avoided. Yeah, it just stinks all around. And for once, the stink is not attached to a game that stinks, right? It's a great game. For some, this is Game of the Year material that has now been sucked into the black hole.
Bruh, what are you meaning for some? This is Game of the Year material. This is a freaking godlike game. The game itself is awesome. The devs are awesome. They are just connected to scum. And yeah, you Sony fanboys out there, F you. You're also at fault with this. And how can you be at fault if you don't have any decision in it? You know why? Because you actually supported those fuckers. And I'm gonna bet a freaking $1 million that most of those that actually support Sony still support this. Still support this decision. If you're not one of them, good for... that's perfect. This is how you should handle it. You shouldn't support them for having this dumb of a decision. But if you are for some reason, why? This is stupid. I mean, and even for people that think, yeah, what's the problem with the account? You see the problem most, like a lot of countries don't even get the chance of opening an account. That's the gigantic problem here. That's the biggest problem. And those are people who already bought it. They cannot use a product they already bought and paid for. And it's a freaking problem.
Whole of corporate overlords absolutely mangling what it was just so they can have their massive backpats all around quarterly call. By the way, it's interesting to note how the Helldivers community has seemed to really rally around this cause to push back as hard as possible against the corpo henchglords over at Sony. I mean, this is a group in the divers that has been tasked with smashing through automaton advances, TCS mutations, hell, killing 2 billion bugs. And now their target is Sony, which seems to have just, swung for the fences with no thoughts as to what may happen. And where it really starts to get chaotic is for anyone that lives in one of these affected regions. And, from me to you as a fellow Helldiver, I have nothing but positive thoughts for you and fingers crossed for a true and positive ending to this entire mess. These players are reaching out to Arrowhead. They're reaching out to CMs with legitimate concerns like, help, my country does not support PSN. What do I do? To which Johan, Arrowhead's CEO, simply responded, I don't know. Of all the answers to give, this one says the most and it also says the least. All indications are that Arrowhead was caught off guard, but now we know they weren't blameless, as Johan is now admitted to, and he's right. For someone like me, who joined after the first week, I was never met with one of these optional PSN account linking screens. It just simply never popped up for me, and I was never ever given the option to skip it. I just saw nothing. And I know that many of you out there are in the same boat. Now, it was up on the Steam page. Yeah, that's on me. I missed it. But then we start to get into this gray area of it was disabled for months. And so is it really a mandatory rule, or one that was meant to be there from the start but was then removed? So technically, is it still a mandatory rule?
You know what? If it's a mandatory rule, let's just say they are correct about it. Because I believe it was on the Steam. Because I remember actually reading this and there was something called about it. Because there was, and I hear it all the time, it was good. It was on me, I didn't read it correctly, that's fine. But after this shit show, you should be, well, exceptions prove the rule. Let's just make an exception for this. And why the fuck not? Why the... Truly, why not? There isn't any freaking productive reason to actually not make an exception here. You can get a lot more money out of it if you just make this single thing an exception. And even the freaking... Just make an exception more often than not. Because why not? Just because it looks a bit better in your for freaking partners? For the people that pay up? They're gonna pay up anyway. Why shouldn't they? You still make the money. I mean, what?
I mean, that's a big gray area right there. At this point, I just wanted to repeat, I feel truly gutted for anyone that's on that affected countries list. There's even reports coming in from those players that they don't even have the option now to click on refund requested through Steam. Now, I cannot confirm that fact, but if it is true, damn. To be under that cloud of uncertainty, you can't buy the game, you may not be able to play the game come early June, and now you're not even given the option to refund out of the game despite all of its current issues. Now, as more information becomes available, expect a full follow-up report. Chins up, Helldivers. I try to stay positive here. This game kicks ass. The community definitely kicks ass. And with that much ass kicking on our side, I think things are going to swing in our favor.
Yeah. And by the way, I agree, this community, wonderful. One of the freaking best communities in the world. The game, fantastic. Mwah. Like, jolly fellows, freaking awesome. But still, this drama is so effed up and unnecessary. It's just... Why? That's the question. Why? More money for what? You already, like, is it really just for so you can look a bit better? And now you look way worse than before. It's not even comparable. Why? But as it is, acolytes, good night.